Hey guys, Orlando with Filmatic, and we're back again. I'm trying to break my record of the videos that I made last year. If I can get past 7 videos, which was what I did last year, I think that we'll be able to have a good rapport of being on this channel quite a bit. What I'm going to show you today is my FX3 build. Most people, when they build out these cameras, I think that they're either, this is like their top tier camera, or they might use it as a B camera to something that's a little bit larger. I'm used to using Alexas, and I think I had started with like Red 1 cameras. If you remember how big those things were, they used to say that they were so heavy that you needed 2 ice packs, one for the camera and then one for your shoulder. They also would say that it's so heavy that you would drop it, it would literally break the ground. Now we have these cameras that are tiny, and I'm not used to using super small cameras, and I really don't know how much, like how likely this build will be for me unless I just want to do a short film with a full out built cinema camera. So I'm going to show you how I would build this if I was going to replace something like the Alexa or like a bigger Komodo build. Or like if I literally had to work with the same crew that they're used to handling my bigger equipment. And honestly, man, I'm just used to having a pretty heavy setup. So that's what I'm going to show you. And what's cool is I put a little bit of money into my cage system about 4 years ago, three to 4 years ago, when I knew I was going to be doing a lot of like a lot of Movi work, and then having to move over to studio mode. Once I knew that that was going to be in my books for quite a bit, I bought this system. So what I have here is the base FX3. And then the first thing that I got for it, I was reluctant to do this because I really didn't want to get any cage. And I'm not trying to promote any cage over another. I think that you could have done either one. This one, as you can see, I blacked it out, but it is a small rig cage. And I didn't get the top handle for them because I really do feel that all those top handles are kind of trash. They just they look like they're designing the look of them before they're designing the form or the functionality of them. And I really don't like the way they look, and I can already tell that I'm gonna get cramps in my hand. So what I bought a while back was this system here. This is from Ignite Digi. Ignite Digi makes a semi-universal top plate and base plate setup so that you can sandwich anything like a DSMC2, a Raptor, a Komodo. You can do an FX6. I mean, you can do almost anything with this base plate. Alexa Mini. And I've used this plate on all those cameras to build a similar setup. You take that, and then you take the bottom sled here, and then you sandwich this into the Movi. So from there, you get your top handle from Ignite Digi, which is actually pretty expensive too, but it's been worth it. So you slide that in there, and then boom, you got the top handle. And so I use that same kind of setup, but these didn't line up with anything Small Rig makes. Like all these companies are making things that aren't universal, where companies like Ignite Digi, Bright Tangerine, Area, they're always making things in mind where like you're going to be using things that you've had for a long time. You don't have to just go out and buy things that are catered to that camera every single time. So I'm using this style, but instead of using the ones that came from Ignite Digi, I'm using the standard ones that came with the Movi Pro. Now I have a bunch of these laying around because I've had the Movi Pro forever. So let me start building this out. So first off, I would take something like the top plate here, right? Make sure these are all tight. And then I have my bag of Allen wrenches. I recommend the Eklund, if I'm saying that right, Eklund. But I have a full kit. The ones that I mainly use, I have in this pouch, and you'll need a couple different ones for this kind of build. Small Rig, of course, does all this with a flat head, which is fine, I guess. I don't know. I'm just not used to that. I'm just making sure that all these things are tight and not too tight. Like, don't over tighten the stuff. There's no need to. Just make sure that it's there. Like that one could get one more rotation. Okay, from there, what I did is I got the cheese plate from Small Rig, and I already kind of preloaded it with some Velcro, and you'll see where this will come in handy later. Also added a quarter 20 to 3/8 adapter here, and that you'll see what it's for later. Let me just tighten that up a little bit. There you go. And so I'm just gonna drop this in here, and all these I'll end up lining up. So that it makes sense. Now, the reason why I got these Eklund adapters was because there's this really cool AC that I worked with that he had just came over from California to live in Texas, and I was making fun of him. I was like, man, you guys are coming here to steal our jobs, And I pulled out my trusty little red tool, the one that a lot of people had back then. And he was like, bro, you need some real tools. And I was like, man, whatever. And as I was working on mine, he was already done with, he was literally handing me bolts just to make fun how long I was taking. So after that, I took a picture of what he had, and I got him. And now there's some other cool ones, some German ones that I really want, that look really sick and are a lot smaller. But I'll post these up too. I love these. These have been great, and I recommend them. So I'll put that plate here. You can already see that this almost already looks like the top plate from that famous Cineback that a lot of people are using. I looked into that system too, so you might say, hey, you should have just got a Cineback. I looked at it. I don't see the benefit of it. As I'll show you, I've collected a lot of stuff that kind of makes that whole system kind of mute for me, right? So then I go from there. I will add my base plate. Make sure it's lined up. And I actually can do 2 screws here, but for this, I'm gonna just show you the build and how it looks and stuff when it's done here. Okay. So there you go, sandwich. You have the ability to open. You can still turn. Right. I'm getting all that flexibility there. Okay. Now I'll add my top plate. Sorry, my top receiver, Movi Pro. Go into the 4mm for that. And then you just want to make sure it's lined up. Once it's lined up, tighten it nice. And these you can now, you're not on the camera anymore, so you can crank these a little bit more. It should work very, very well. And this feels, as long as you're not trying to put too much weight and just sandwich it, this should be pretty cool for that. And now I got a top handle. So I can drop that top handle here, and boom, I got a little top handle there. From here, I also have an extra thing here that you can see. I'll show you. I added an extra adapter here. And this is from Ratworks. Ed Ratcliffe, rest in peace. Ratworks, they're still selling a lot of cool stuff. They're from UK. And he designed a lot of cool things that we still use on builds today. But as you can see, I can just attach this to things that are kind of industry standard. And I have longer ones than this too. And I use them all the time with my Alexa builds. Then from here, I can take the base plate that comes with the Ignite Digi. Slide that in. And boom, that's locked. So, you already have a pretty comfortable build there. The next thing that I have here is the Ignite. Well, this is actually from Tiltamax. This is called the T-Box. And this, I don't even think they sell it anymore. But I bought this at a sale from a company called MicroSearch in Houston. that ran with ICANN. If you remember ICANN back in the day, they used to be a tilted distributor. This one I found laying in one of the boxes. I quickly grabbed it because I was like, man, who's not going to need this? Well, I don't need any of this stuff here because I can't find cables for this. The SDIs and stuff worked great for a while. I would use them for the Komodo. I could send a signal here and then I can duplicate and split out. The other cool thing about this is that it has an internal battery. The internal battery can keep all the stuff powered for, about an extra 15 minutes, enough time for you to swap out batteries. So this has been pretty cool. Unfortunately, the SDI doesn't work too well anymore. I mean, it's just, with age, things happen. And I'm wondering how long the batteries are going to last in here too. But you'll see that, it'll work well for this. I will be swapping this out once the Condor Blue VBACs are back in stock. I want the one that has the PD, the new PD USB, PDC USB or whatever it's called, and just so that I can do better powering, or whenever I travel, I can charge easily. So yeah, so now you can see, I mean, this looks like a Cineback already. I mean, it has some weight to it, but it already feels like that, right? I'm gonna show you the E-mount to PL. So let's go ahead and go to that. Okay. All right. So now I have that one set. I can put a nice PL lens on that if I'd like, but let's go ahead and put a couple other things. I grabbed my universal speedball with the ultra mount. These are awesome. If you haven't seen them, check them out. They're really, really easy to use. I could just grab that, lock that there. I can also do a couple other things. Like I have a cool tool here, for example, that I can add like adapters or bolt like a rod into this and just bolt that down. And now I have an EVF that I can add here if I'd like. It's super easy to put here and just lock it in like that. That's another cool way to do that. I don't really use them. I'll leave it on here so you can see it, but this one you can power via an LP6. Literally, that's the only reason why I got this cool orange looking one, because I was like, well, I want to power it, but it also comes with, from Portkeys, it also comes with this, its own adapter. It looks like a Hiroshi cable, so I really don't like it when they have like proprietary cables. So this is something that I probably wouldn't use because I guarantee you I'm going to break it or lose it. So I really push to have 2-pin stuff whenever we can. But who doesn't want an EVF on this, right? And then when you have something like this, you need to power all these things. I normally tell people you want to route all your cables, all your power management. You want to do all that before you route anything else. So I have the sprigs here, a little sprig that you can use to kind of put your cables through. I use this one is from Hyperthin, the Hyperthin HDMI cable. I've had this for years. We used to use this on drone stuff all the time back when, you had to know how to be have like a pilot's license to really fly one. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I never flew it myself. I worked with these really cool guys called DroneWorks, if you remember them. But I do expect a lot of cool stuff coming this year. That there's some new guys in town that I'm really excited to be working with, that I think we're going to be able to show y'all some pretty cool drone stuff. So from here, I can take that and I can send the signal up to the port keys. I can send that right up there. I can route all this here, let it go back here, out. Getting an SDI cable, I can go to SDI out. Here allows you to convert. So I can then grab that and put it here. Cool. So now I'll have signal to everything here. As long as this is powered on, it'll send signal to this. And this now I have power there too. And then from there, we want to go ahead and power a couple of the other things on the camera here. There's a couple things that I use. Let me grab them real quick. We can go ahead and start routing a couple other things here. Of course, I have the D-tap that I will put to this system here. This will go to the camera because we want that to stay on no matter what. Unfortunately, this one only has a has one D-tap, which is insane, right? And once again, just because it has one D-tap, that doesn't make it to where I'm like, oh, I should get a Cineback or a Rigid Pro just because it has 4 D-taps. I can do that with the professional battery. Like, I'll get 2 more D-taps and I'll show you. I'm also putting this on the Velcro right here. You can see where I put the Velcro, and then I'm passing this through here and plugging it in. And boom. Okay, so now we got plug 1 there. The next thing that we're going to do is I use the tentacle sinks. I don't know if you have seen these before, but they're for time code. All professionals need time code if you're doing audio and you need a sync. Even what I'm currently wearing, I have a tentacle sync track E here that's mounted under my clothes, and that runs to this cable here, right? And that runs to another one of these on that camera, and it's keeping the sync overall. I have another Velcro under here. I'll just tap that under like that. And then, let's see. Go ahead and plug that there. And I'll plug this right into here. Great. And so both those cables are from Alvin's Cables. I've been using Alvin's Cables for quite a bit. If you're wary about using their cables, I will tell you that overall, I've had a great experience with them. I think only once they sent me the wrong one, and they just sent me another one. I even have had them build custom cables, especially for like the Movi stuff that we've done. Yeah, it just helps out so much. So now I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I also need to add the D-tap to power it. So to do that, I have same thing, another Alvin's cable. I'm going to go ahead and attach that one to the battery here. And then let's seat that one. And let's give this one power. Best thing about this is that it's using 2-pin LEMO, which means that the negative and the positive are hitting at the exact same time. So there is no circuit loop that's being failed and being sent to your HDMI port or anywhere like that. Cool. So, yeah, from here we have most of the build. I mean, this is more or less like I think how I would run it if I had to use like that kind of setup. So the only other thing that I would probably add to this is my Teradek. Teradek 750 LT. I mean, this is what I use for pulling focus. This is especially if someone's going to be pulling focus for me. I could add like the WCU4, a bigger, airy follow focus, or we can even use the Tilta one, the Nucleus M, to have someone pull focus. Or if I'm going with just like straight EF glass and having it to do focus, I still want them to see if focus was hit critically, then I would use a Teradek. I use a Bright Tangerine, little 15 millimeter rod adapter, and there's airy pins on the top of this. And I would just grab that and drop it like this, and then I'd probably route the SDI or HDMI into this first, then route that to my monitor. The reason why I would go to the Teradek first is so that even if I lose picture, my AC won't lose picture. So he won't lose picture. My monitor can go out. This one can go out, but my guy can still, they can still pull focus. So, I would leave that there, or I can build it, however you want. But I love just leaving this little thing on there too. It just helps out. And this actually feels pretty balanced, like, you know, the way that I'm holding it now. So what I want to do is add a little bit of a bigger lens. You know what y'all do with these, or when you get them, you just throw them in the trash. Uh, I don't know why. Another little doohickey that that you get from that Cine rig, or those people, is that they like putting those little what's it called, like the voltage on the side, like if you remember that stuff. But I got this one here that I've had from Mutiny IO for a bit. And it's actually so bright that I had to put ND on it. I think I still need to double stack it more. It's just so bright. But it works really well for just being able to check batteries real quick, throw them on the D-tap, and they'll work. But overall, this is my build. Let me show you with the lens on there so you can see what it feels like. Okay, so this is what I've been filming my my YouTube with for a little bit with the FX3. These are called the Master Built Portrait series lenses. They use some of this glass on movies like Bullet Train. I think they said they also use them on the Justin Bieber Lonely, and yeah, I mean a couple other ones. I can add other rods and things from the top. I can actually also add another whole airy base bottom plate if I wanted to get it to a better height. But overall, like, this is what, you know, a build like this would feel like for me. So, you know, I would take a rig like this, and, you know, I don't know if I'd be handling it exactly like this, but for the most part, what I do is I get my shape handles, something like this, you know, when you're shooting. I can bring this in here more, and then I'm shooting like that, and I can pull focus myself too, like if I'm doing all that. And the monitor is good. I can turn it to me if I want to look at the EVF. I can do that. You know, I don't feel like I'm struggling here. Of course, it looks like spaghetti and all that, but overall, like, it's just such a fun build. It's such a fun build altogether, that, you know, if I was gonna do like a bigger build, it would look something like this. And I'll show you the reason why, you know, we do this. Like, overall, you want a camera that feels pretty balanced, something that will give you, you know, that you feel weight on it, you know, and that you can just, you know, make some moves with it and you can shoot. All these cables would, of course, be put under and tethered up. And then, you know, from there, I'm just used to having that big of a setup. Another thing we use are the Bright Tangerine matte box, to, even though it's heavy, still keep it lightweight, right? And then I use the Alpha Eye, Indies, which are pretty cool. There's an LPL to E mount. We used to have a signature zoom lens that just never got rented. Beautiful glass. It was a 45 to 135. We got to film some pretty cool stuff with it, but it just never got rented. And we had an E mount for it just in case, like if someone wanted it on an FX6 or an FX9. We tried it here and there, but man, it was just such a big lens. I mean, it was like double the size of this one. You know, it would extend out to like here. And it was just, it cost like 50 grand by itself. It just really didn't make sense. But what it has allowed is that we have this cool Marlin expander from Dizio, excuse me, that allows you to put it on an LPL. So I can take something like this here. And because we're always, you know, looking for cool vintage glass or something to, like, you know, dirty up our frame, we can add this expander, which allows us to do a 1.6x expansion to old school glass. And so we can put, like, I've tried, like, Cook S4s, I think I can start from 50 millimeters and up, and I can fill the frame. But there's other like lenses that I never would have thought would have looked so good in full frame, like the like the Canon 14.5 to 47. Yeah, I think to 47. And that set, like we're able to expand it edge to edge coverage. I filmed a pilot for a true crime doc with it, and I was like really impressed with it. The Atlas Anamorphics fit full frame when you do that, so we can totally put this on here and do full frame coverage with the Atlas Anamorphics, not just the Mercury ones, but like a true 2x. And even though the expansion will make it technically a little bit larger than that, it just they look great. So I'm looking forward to showing you some of that stuff pretty soon. With that said, man, like yeah, so this is a cinema rig build. This is what I would do if I was gonna shoot like a feature on this, or like, you know, just have a crew. If I have my AC and everyone like running it and swapping batteries and just taking care of the whole rig, this would make me feel comfortable. And I guess I can show you one other reason why I think that you would want something this big, especially when you come from our world, right? We're very used to using pretty big cameras. So let me show you like it compared to the Alexa Mini LF. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear a little bit of space here. So yeah, I mean, if you put these two next to each other now, they feel like they're a little balanced, right? Let me put the EVF on this one too. So let me turn this one to its side here. And then this one to its side. And these cameras, like I said, like this one especially, you know, they're very well designed to have very, very good like midpoint on them when you're carrying them and you're holding them and you're working with them. So to build out your smaller cameras, if you're used to this setup, having ACs, having, you know, a crew that's gonna, you know, crews or grips that can grab it and always put stuff down. You just want to make sure that things are hefty, that they feel good, that if they drop it, it's not going to break your camera. It's going to break. Like, I don't even think this stuff can break here, man. But, I mean, overall, like, it just feels pretty solid. Pretty happy with it so far. We'll try to do some stuff on YouTube. If you guys want to see me shoot, like, some kind of short film or something on this one, I will, you know, and we'll try to show something cool with it. I'm outside of this, you know, just the last things I want to talk about is like, you don't need to have a rig like this. Like, you know, if you want a bigger camera, get a bigger camera. But the cool thing about the FX3 is that it's small, it's lightweight. You can put like one of their new Sony glass and it just zips focus. And a lot of people say the G Master lenses are really nice lenses. I haven't used them. I'm not in the stills world. I don't use that stuff, but I definitely love to try them and see the difference. The reason why I like using cinema glass is just because it adds so much texture. And since I kind of grew up in the world where it was all digital, you know, things were just they're getting to a point where they're trying to make things cleaner and cleaner and lift the noise floor and all that. You got a camera like this that you can kind of say that it's already done it. Like, it lifted the noise floor as much as you can. You know, now I look at it and I'm like, man, you know, I go back to the Alexa and like it provides a cool texture that makes it feel filmic. You know, makes it feel like you're in the theaters. And so I'm pretty excited about this build. Excited about you know, what we have for the channel. If you have any questions or ask why I would set up certain things, like, I'd love to answer your question. Thanks again for checking it out. I hope you like and consider the build that I have. I'll have all that stuff listed below. And whenever you're ready, like, just subscribe. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That's the new goal. All right, we'll see y'all later. Take care. Cut. Okay, all right. Oh, whoa. Oh. You got me, bro. All right. Later.